Woo! All right. Hello, my people. Feels good to say that today. Feels really good to be here today. Here being the United States of America. Feels really good to be in the US of A. I am really hyped to be here. I got so many cool things we're going to be working on. And also just a little bit of chill time with the family and stuff. It's been long overdue, my people. Long overdue. Been a while. So I'm here today to do a live stream, a very special kind of live stream, a very different live stream. This is a live stream about work and what it's like to work, and especially what it's like to work as an English teacher in Peru, predominantly. Although, you will be seeing some jobs that are not related to Peru here, because we're going to cover my entire work history, and I'm going to tell you guys all the details. Before I do that, I do want to say, you may notice there is a disclaimer running across the screen here. That disclaimer, what's up, Franco, what's good? I'm going to be ranking every school that I've ever worked at, dude, including Raimondi. Joaquin, what's up? Good to see you. I got Chad over here. We don't have my usual setup because I'm in the States, so I actually have two laptops right now, like one's streaming, one's chat, and like monitor. You got to do what you got to do. So, yeah, the tea is coming, dude, don't worry. So yeah, it's going to be a good time. I wanted to do this because I wanted to share a little bit of like the work experience and also give you a little bit of the inside information, you know, the stuff that they don't tell you every day. And so this is the real morbo, you know, like this is the tea. But I do got to point out that Raimondi tea, man, Raimondi tea is like from Raimondi school. I'm going to be ranking every job here. So I'm going to be telling you guys about my experiences with each job. Now I want to start off by just saying, you may notice this disclaimer scrolling across the screen. My lawyer told me to do that. So here's the thing. There are a couple ground rules that I want to establish here today. Rule number one, I'm not going to be trash talking any human beings. No names today, okay? You guys can feel free to put whatever you want in the chat, but no names. I'm not talking about any human beings. I don't care how hard you ask. Other things like, this is not an evaluation of these businesses or these schools. I'm not trying to say if this is a good school or a bad school or a good company or a bad company. I'm not trying to say like, you know, that their product is good or bad or their service is good or bad. It has nothing to do with that. This is strictly just a ranking of how much I enjoyed working there. And that's all about me. Because, like, ultimately, it's all subjective. You know, I think other teachers may have other feelings about the same places. Some people probably hated some of the places that I liked, and vice versa. So just know that I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad or nothing here. If like I put your school in F tier, it's not because I don't like you. It's not because I think it's a bad school. I've worked in a lot of good jobs. So keep that in mind too. Like an F for me might be an A for somebody else. A lot of this stuff is relative, okay? So just saying that, all right? We're just, you know, we're not trying to like step on anybody's toes or make anyone feel bad or anything. So let's get to it. I'm ready to party. So we're going to go in chronological order. I've been thinking about this, and I've been trying not to think about it too much because, like, I want to give you my honest reaction here, but at the same time, like, I had to think about this a little bit. I had to prepare the tier list and put the, like, icons there. So, obviously, I have given it a little bit of thought. But, you know, I think it's going to be pretty authentic here. And we're going to start with the earliest thing that I got. This is the first job I ever had, and it's this little guy right here, Rochester Window Cleaning. That was my first ever job. I'm not counting any jobs that were like less than 6 months, like short, maybe like a 3 or 4 month gig that I did for a bit and didn't continue. Like, I'm not counting those. So there's a few other jobs I could have included here, but didn't because I didn't feel like I spent enough time with them. So Rochester Window Cleaning was my first ever real job where I got paid by somebody else and had to pay taxes. And like, it was the first thing. And all I did was clean windows, literally just like clean windows. You know, I had good form. You know, good form, cleaning the windows. So, like, that was what I was doing. I was cleaning windows. I made about $15 an hour, which is pretty freaking good for cleaning windows. And that was back in, like, 2006 when dollars were worth even more. Boy, 2006 dollars. They were good dollars back then. So, I cleaned windows in the hot summer days with one of my good friends, Patrick. I know I said I wouldn't mention names, but this is really long ago, so I think it's okay. And I was with him and his dad most of the time. His dad owned the business. That's how I got the job. And also my buddy Kevin, who worked there too. So the three of us would often go out and hit these jobs. And it was mostly residential stuff, you know, just like go climb on a ladder, clean the window, go inside the house, clean the window, go get lunch, go home. And it was, you know, it was all right. It's pretty good work. I miss you too, Jose Carlos. You guys are the best. Miss you guys. Love you. Marco, see you in there. So yeah, straight up simple work. You know, just like, it wasn't hard work in the sense of like being technically difficult. It was a little bit hard in the sense of like, man, I got to climb a ladder and not fall into my death. I hurt my shoulder doing that job, and it's still kind of funky to this day. So there's that. But I think I'm going to place this job squarely in C tier, and I'll tell you why. Look, C tier for me is like, it's an okay job. It's not a job that you want to keep doing forever, but it's an okay job. You'll do it while you can, while you have to. Like, I wouldn't go back to that now because I don't want to clean windows anymore. It's hot and sweaty. But like, you know, it's not a bad job. It's okay. And it was good for what I was doing. I was 16, 17, working summers. Like, that's pretty good pay for that age. So for me, the C tier is like the jobs that I don't really want to continue, but I don't dislike them that much. They're fine. It's average. You know, that's where we're going to go. You're going to see, JD. You're going to see. I'm seeing you in there. We're going in order, so we'll get there. For me, like, the B tier is going to be like a job that I actually liked and like would continue to do for a while. You know, I would stay in that job. I'd be happy in that job for at least a while. I don't think it would be like my dream job or where I would stay forever, but it's a good place, right? And then I think like my A is like jobs I love. You know, like really like this job. I would come to work. I like coming to work. That's the key for me. Is like I like coming to work. I want to keep doing this. That's an A tier. And then like going the other direction, I think the D tier is like I want to get out of here. F tier is like, I wouldn't wish this on my enemy. I would hope that my enemy doesn't get this job. That would be my F tier. So with that out of the way, that was my first job. Now my second job. This was this guy right here. This little dude. This is, I just want to take a quick look here, make sure. I'm looking at my chat here. I want to make sure I'm not missing nobody, making sure you guys are good. Okay, we cool. So this was my dad's company, interestingly enough. This is the best logo I could find for it. They changed their logo like every 4 years. It didn't look like this when I worked there. It's called InSync Media. InSync Media was a printing company. Like basically before you print 1 million copies of something, you need to print one and make sure it looks really good, like a prototype for an engineer, you know, same concept. And my dad had this company, and I begged him and begged him and begged him for a job, and he wouldn't give me a job until I started looking for other jobs. And then I think he was like, oh crap, it would be really lame if like I didn't hire my own son and he got a job somewhere else. So then he gave me a job when he saw me looking for other ones. I think that might have been like his plan. I don't know. My dad was weird with that stuff. So my job at this place was basically to operate printers. That was what I did the first year I worked there. And then they were big printers though, like 4 foot wide, gigantic monstrosities that were like, you know, you printed out pieces of paper that you could wrap your body up in like a mummy. It was cool, actually. And I gotta say, something that's really important, my people. Like, it's not always what you do, it's who you do it with. This place had one of the coolest staffs ever. Like, everybody on the staff was cool. Everybody was cool, except for like 1 or 2 people. But like everybody was cool. We would joke around all the time, very dirty, inappropriate jokes that I won't even say on YouTube. Like, we had a really cool like thing going there at the work. Like, people made fun of each other. When I crashed my car, they photoshopped me in a giant sumo costume and were like asking for donations to pay for my sumo suit to keep me safe for future drives, so that if I crashed my car again, I would just like bounce around in a sumo suit. I thought that was pretty funny. You know, they gave me the money too at the end. And then my dad took it because I had to pay him for the car damage. So, whatever. But yeah, that was a fun job. I worked there for 2 years. Second year, I was doing more like customer support. Like I would meet with customers and like hear what they needed and then tell the operator guys what to do. So I was off the machines a little bit. I still would print stuff from time to time, but I was off that duty. And yeah, it's just a cool job. I learned a lot of things there. I liked the people a lot. And like, I was also making $15 an hour, still pretty good for like 2007, 2008. That job ended when the economic crisis happened and our number one client went bankrupt. And then the company just closed its doors overnight. I was there on closing night. I was working night shift back then. And that was sad. And that tells me something. Like, I was sad that I lost that job. And I liked that job. Like, it could be B, could be A. Because this, like, I genuinely enjoyed going to work at this place. I really did. It's up here. And I liked all the people around me. I liked what I was doing. It wasn't, again, it's not like, I mean, I would have stayed there longer. I truly would have. So it's at least a B for me. I think that I also, man, I don't know. It's a tough one to decide. I'm gonna leave it in B for now. This could get bumped up. Like, we'll think about that. I haven't settled on this yet. Okay. But that job, like, quietly, pretty high ranking job in my opinion. So that is the American stuff. If you take a look down here, you might recognize most of the other logos down here. So maybe there's some you don't. But from here we go to Peru. Economic crisis happens, knocks me out of this lovely job, and now we go to Peru. And the first job I get in Peru is teaching English at la UTP. All right, Universidad Tecnológica del Perú. Now, this job, it's like they gave me a chance. You know, this is my first teaching job. I had never taught anything before. I had no university education, okay? All I had was this, all right? This gringo face. That's all I had. I had gringo face, and that sells, you know? This place was on 28 de Julio con Arequipa, Centro de Lima, like downtown, baby. So I was living up there. I was living in the center of Lima for like a year and a half while I worked at this place. And I like this job. Also, again, cool staff. I had a couple good, like, American, Peruvian friends who were really cool dudes. Like, grew up in New York from the Bronx. You know, they were cool dudes. And we're getting to San Pedro, Marco. We're going to get there. We're going in order, all right? I'm sorry to, like, make you wait for it, but I want to go in chronological order. So I'm working my way up. It's a story, you know. If you want to come back later, it's cool. No worries. So, yeah, like, UTP, I was doing all kinds of English classes. I was getting paid okay. It wasn't anything amazing. But, yeah, cool people. Decent gig. Like, for a first-time teacher, I thought it was all right. It kind of went downhill because then they switched the director for another person, and that new person didn't like me very much. So they started giving more hours to a Polish guy who barely spoke English. And that kind of irritated me because I was like, bro, like, I mean, no offense to the Polish, okay, or to this guy, but like, I barely could understand a word he said. Nobody could. But he was blonde and white, so they let him stay. And they were giving him all the hours because he couldn't argue with anybody because he was speaking, you know, blah, 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 like all that. So yeah, that kind of got frustrating at the end there. The last few months were annoying because they cut my hours in half and I had to pay rent. And this was the start of a brief era of poverty. I'm going to say this is a C. This is a C. I think that's pretty confident. Like, I liked my work. I didn't hate it. I didn't want to quit. If it weren't for those last couple months, I might have even bumped this up to B. We could have been nudging things up, you know? So, what's up, Mauricio? I see you. What's good? So, after that, I go to this place called Private Teacher. Now, Private Teacher paid pretty freaking well. I forget exactly how much they were giving me, but it was like, it was in dollars, first of all, and I think they were paying about $11 an hour, which down here, 35 soles or something like that for me was pretty good at the time. And it's this institute that was on Javier Prado. It was on like Javier Prado con Iquitos, and next to the Kia dealership, I think. And this place had a weird structure. It was a very different type of institute. Like, it was like a gym almost. You go in and you'd be like, yeah, I'm on level 17. And they'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Let me grab somebody. And they just go up into the room and go, data. And then like I'd come down and then they gave me the pay for the hour to just do a class with this person. It was like a one-on-one thing, you know? So, Paxelito, you'll see. So, this was an interesting job, but I didn't like the system. Like, it was, the material they gave us was so outdated. It was so ancient. It was like 20 years old. It was these old, like, blue and white pages, like, no colors besides blue. And, like, the other thing I hated about this place, man, like, they made us wear a uniform. Now, I'm not a big fan of uniforms. So far, every job on this list did not require a uniform. Points in their favor. I feel like uniforms are a violation of a person's individual freedom. I'm American. And the thing about the uniform at this place was like blue shirt, blue pants, okay? It's just all blue. You're walking around like a Smurf. And at one time, I was standing outside hanging out with another teacher, having a beverage, and some guy came up to me with his garbage. And he was just like, can you throw this away? And I'm like, bruh, like, I mean, there's no shame in being a garbage man, but like, you think I'm the garbage man? Like, that made me feel bad. You know, I didn't want to be like seen as a garbage man. So I genuinely didn't enjoy working there that much. You know, the pay was decent. They sent me to some cool private classes too, where the pay was even better. So like, that keeps them out of F. But this was just a job to get by until I found something better, honestly. I didn't really like it that much. Cool thing though is I did meet one of my best friends of all time there. So like, him and I are still bros to this day, from the womb to the tomb. And that keeps it out of F tier too. I think this is a D. This was a job I didn't want to keep doing. I wanted to get out of this job. And there were some things about it I didn't like. But it was easy. It was easy. Yeah, Blue Man Group, dude. All the way. That's what it basically was. Yeah, Ignacio. I did have the best students in Senpai. Yo, you guys are awesome. I liked you guys a lot. I'm not ranking students for the record. That has nothing to do with this. I don't want to go there. So now, we enter into a new phase, my people. This was like the English Institute phase. Now we enter into the school phase with this little guy right here. Berkeley School. You're not going to be able to see it once I drop it in here. I forgot to leave the background white. PNGs, man. But Berkeley School. Let me tell you about Berkeley School. If you have heard of Berkeley School, just, you know, woo in the chat or something, because I don't think you have. I'd like to see that, though. Yeah, a 7-foot tall garbage man, right? You know. So, Berkeley is a small school in San Isidro. It's, and when I say small, like when I was there, we had about 130 students, I think. And the second year they had like 110. It's in San Isidro, down like right there, like Salaberry, around there. So like Ejército, around that area. And like, this is my first job teaching school. First time ever teaching in a school setting. This was a totally new thing for me. I came in the middle of the year. I came in July during the vacations. So fitting that I've gone out in vacations as well, I guess. And I'm up there, man, I'll tell you, like, they dumped so much on me at the very beginning. They're like, all right, look, here's what I had to teach. I'm going to try to remember everything I had to teach in my first year. I had to teach 4th grade math, 4th grade English, 5th grade math, 5th grade English, 5th grade social studies, 6th grade math and English. I had to teach science in 7th and 8th grade. I had to teach English to 7th and 8th and 9th and 10th and 11th. They had like a split mixed system, like advanced students in one room and basic in another. So it was only 2 classes, but still. I was teaching like 11 different subjects. I know I'm forgetting something here. Okay, I know I'm forgetting. What's up, Julian? You'll find out, all right? Yeah, this was like intense, okay? it was like getting airlifted into freaking Battle of Normandy. Like, you land on the beach and it's just gunfire everywhere. And you're just like seeing everything in slow motion and you can't hear anything. It was intense. And even though the classes were really small because of the fact that they only had a small number of students, it was just all this new stuff for me. And it was a little overwhelming. I did not do very well my first year. I was a bit of a mess. You know, I was scrambling from the start to the finish to try to survive. It was difficult. But I learned a lot. You know, I learned a lot from that job. And the thing is, the reason that I didn't like this job so much was more or less how I was treated. Like, they saw us as very much disposable people, right? We were disposable. Or at least that's how I felt. I felt disposable. The owner, for example, of the school, I had not met her the first year I was there. She was not in the country. She came the next year, and she called me into her office one day to just like chew me out and tell me I was doing stuff wrong. And I literally did not know who she was. I was like, who are you? And she's like, I'm the owner of the school. And it's like, well, great leadership skills. Like, I did not even know that, and I've worked here for 6 months. Like, how do you not introduce yourself to your people? It's such a small school. There are like 20 teachers. You could have known everybody by heart, you know? And she also, the other thing, like, they did a couple shady things. Like, I could tell you about this. They, like, the first year, I finished the year, and they told me they weren't going to hire me for the next year. I wasn't too surprised by that, honestly, because like I said, I was not doing a good job, okay? I was not. But then they called me in February and were like, hey, we want to give you your job back. And I took it because I needed it at the time. But like, they did that just to not pay me for summer. You know, that's what it was. They didn't want to pay me summer vacation, so they fire and hire. And I'm like, that left me with a bad feeling, you know? I finished out that year, and around the middle of that year, I knew for sure I was not going to stay in this job. It was like, I got to get out of this school. I cannot take it anymore. It got even worse the second year. It was like the owner's daughter was the tutora for one of the rooms, and she just didn't come to school. She just didn't. Like, she collected her check, but she didn't do anything. And then I would have to take her place and not get paid for tutoria, but I was doing it every freaking day. And like, just so many little things like that. There's so much more. They tried to get me to sign a resignation with no date on it. They literally handed me a letter that said, you know, sign here for your resignation at the end of the year, which is a common practice for gringos, by the way. That's not unusual, but it didn't have the date in it. And I'm like, what do you think? I'm stupid? You could just put tomorrow's date in that with like printed again. Like, you think I'm dumb? This is the kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff. What's up, Bautista? I'm doing good, man. Good to see you. Yeah, capitalism. Exactly, man. Hang on. Let me mute those notifications over there. My bad. So, like, yeah, this place was just brutal. They were mean in a lot of ways to me. You know, again, I think there were other people that got along with them well, just kind of did what they were told and didn't have any problems. And I think if you had more experience, it would have been a much easier job because you'd know what to do and you'd be like, okay, I can handle this. It's a small class. I got this. Like, to me today, I could go back in there and run that show. You know, me then, right there. I know it's hard to see, but that's where it goes. Okay, it's under the disclaimer. You can see right here. This is where it goes. Okay, for me, that job was miserable. That was like the beginning of alcoholism. Okay, what's up, Discovery Channel? It's good. All right. Yeah, Paxelito starting the flame war in the chat. I love it. Italo, I see you. Welcome, my people. Thank you for coming down. I appreciate you hanging out. All right, so we go from Berkeley to the Italian school. Colegio Italiano Antonio Raimondi. I got a lot to say about Raimondi. This is where it goes. Altair San Pedro. I'm going to tell you. So, Raimondi holds a sort of special place in my life because several reasons. Number one, it's the longest job I've ever had. 5 years. I did 5 whole years at Raimondi. Prior to that, I had never done more than 2 years at any of these places on this list. 2 was my max. Okay, and to this day, this is still the longest job I've ever had. So that says something. I think the fact that I have been there I was there that long speaks volumes of what it was. The other thing is, I was getting paid. My salary doubled from Berkeley. Doubled. That's twice. Okay? Which was clutch because I was broke as hell. I was in debt. I couldn't pay my rent. I was paying my rent on a credit card. Okay? That's not good. Do not do that, by the way. Do not pay rent with your credit card. That sucks. It's way worse than just, don't do it. It's a bad idea. But that's what I had to do. So, yeah. Now, Moon Era, this is the thing. This is the thing. Like, there's a couple eras within the Raimondi era. It's like, first couple years I get in there, and I'm still pretty new at this teaching game. I got some experience. I've been through the tough school of Berkeley. I've been through some things. I've seen some things, you know. But this is a whole new level. This is like a higher level school, right? You know, economically, socially, is a whole different thing. Like, I needed to step up my game, and it's also this job that it got me into studying. Like, I was encouraged to study a little bit and start getting my degree. And I thought that was a smart idea. So that's what I started doing. I want to tone down my jams just a teeny bit. I don't know. They felt like they got a little loud. I don't know why. But I don't know. There we go. That's a little bit. This song's just loud. So yeah, like Raimondi. So yeah, it got me into university. Like, I was encouraged to do that so that I could kind of get better and maintain that job. And that was good for me. Good pay. Got me out of financial problems. That was awesome. Then the other thing I would like, this is an important thing, okay? I think it helps to understand something that's important to me, which is freedom. I'm American. But when I talk about freedom in education, I mean like the freedom for me to do what I want to do in the class, okay? So I experienced a lot more freedom at Raimondi because it was a lot simpler for me. I was teaching English in the first year to just 2 grades. That means I had to design 2 programs, so much easier than like 11 at the previous school. So I had a lot more time to like explore ideas and experiment with things and try new stuff. And for me, that was really nice. I started like kind of discovering my style of teaching, and I had a lot of room to do that. The first couple years, I mean, I followed the program at first. I didn't want to come in and start like changing everything, right? Go with what's been working and then, you know, start making it your own. And that was awesome at first. Like first couple years, you know, I kind of got into the flow. I felt comfortable. I got to know all the literature that we taught. And that's when like we start getting into the next era of it. Where now, after a couple years here, I feel really good. You know, I feel like I got this. Okay, I could do this like in my sleep. And I want to innovate. I want to add new things. I want to like keep it interesting. I don't want to just do the same thing year after year after year. I don't even like to do the same thing like within the same year. I try to change it up frequently, you know. Little fun fact about me, I don't do lesson plans like super rigidly. I try to plan a few weeks ahead, but never more than like a month ahead of time, because I might come up with a better idea. Like if you in 9th at SP and you know I told you to make a game. That came to me by watching a video about Monopoly like 3 weeks ago. And I thought, ooh, that would be dope. We should do that. I don't even remember what I originally was thinking because it wasn't a good idea. And then I came up with that and I was like, that's a better idea. We should do that. And that's the kind of thing, like they let me have that freedom there. They didn't care about like lesson planning at Raimondi. They didn't ask me for documents. They were very chill with all that stuff. Yeah, there were some things you had to turn in, but it was chill, you know? And a lot of that comes from the Italians there. Like they don't tell the Italians what to do. They let them kind of run their own class. And I had that same freedom for a while. And that's when it turns. Like if the story stopped there, my people, we would be firmly in A tier. Possibly in the S. Okay? If it stopped there. Because it was a good job. But Franco, you just said it. You just said they got strict in the last couple of years. They did. They started getting strict on me. And the game changed. Like, it went from being, okay, I kind of do whatever I want, to like suddenly people are like, how would I say this without carefully? Like, people are starting to blame me and my style of doing things for certain problems that have nothing to do with my classes. I started to get more frequent like observation and inspection. I started to get more criticism from above, you know, I'll just say above. And that was starting to create a little tension. Like I wanted to do some new ideas. I wanted to keep doing interesting things. And instead I was getting like clapped back. You know, they were like, no. Stick to the plan. And then there's also the MUN stuff. This is where I get into MUN. Like Raimondi brought me into that world too, and that's huge for me. That's been a game changer for me. And I went and I put in a ton of time and effort to go do an MUN, get good, learn how a team trains, and then build a team at the school. And that also upset people. That also created tensions. Because some people wanted to be, they didn't like the fact that I was the person that people looked up to. They didn't want me to be seen as more important. So they started holding me back, you know? And I hate that because, like, if you just let me be me, I'll do good work. Like, all the time, okay? I don't do bad work. I try not to. I'm sure I have on occasion. I'm sure I've mailed in a class or two, but, like, I try to give 100% every single day. I try to bring that energy, bring my, like, professionalism to the table. And so you just trust me. Trust what I'm doing. I'm not just doing things for no reason. I got reasons. I literally pulled up documents from UNESCO and like the Ministry of Education to try to like show the school what I was doing was good. And they just told me they didn't care. That this was a traditional school. And when I said, where is it in your documents called a traditional school? They said, well, not everything's in the documents, you know. So like they didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear my perspective. And that got frustrating. And thank you, Franco, for the recognition. Renzo, I see you there. Gonzalo, I see you. Holla at the chat. Rubik's, what's good? I I want to say this also because I think it's important too. There's a lot of talk since I was, and I will say, removed from Raimondi. I didn't get fired from Raimondi. They didn't renew my contract. Two different things. Small difference, but a difference nonetheless. I was only ever disciplined formally once, and I was given a memorandum, this is a thing to know. If you get a job in Peru, your bosses probably aren't going to want to just like talk to you if you make a mistake. They're going to call you in and kind of be like the mean teacher, like they're going to be like your dad. They're going to talk down to you. And then they're going to give you a piece of paper that it has written down what you did wrong. And that goes on your record. When you get one of those, you're probably going to lose your job soon. Okay? Just so you know. I've had a couple. The one that I got at Raimondi, the only time I was ever disciplined at that school, not for anything inappropriate, it was for not controlling my students. That was literally what they said. My class was out of control. And they said this because, I will tell you this story. A student, we were doing a debate. The debate was themed after the topic of Locke and Hobbes, two philosophers, one who's all about authoritarian power and one who's all about democratic power. And we applied that to different contexts. The students proposed doing the debate about the school, if the school should be more democratic or more authoritarian. I said, bring it on. This is a great topic. I think you guys are going to get really into this debate and like speaking a lot of English. I think this is an awesome topic. It's close to home. It's the kind of thing you want to hear. Thanks, Locke. I appreciate you. Gaetano, what's good? All right. Part of her plan for her debate was to do some research, including a survey of other students. I asked her to share that with me. I said, let me see that before you send it out. But Raimondi is a very demanding school. People are very busy. She got kind of caught up with her other things she had to do. And she didn't give it to me, but she had the debate on Monday and it was Friday. So she rushed and sent this survey out to like everybody in high school. Okay. So why does that matter? Because in this survey, some of the things she wrote clearly showed negative opinions of the school. Clearly, it wasn't a neutral survey at all. It was a survey that was designed to get you to say the school sucked. I don't agree with that. That's not fair. You shouldn't do that. But she didn't think about that. She was learning. People make mistakes when they learn. And I think it's okay if you make mistakes when you learn. You should be allowed to make mistakes. That's how you learn. I've made plenty. Now, they saw that as somehow me attacking the school. And this says a little bit about the mentality, that clearly, when I was talking to people above about this issue, they asked me why I ordered this student to do that. And I said, I didn't order anyone to do anything. They had an assignment to prepare for a debate. How they do that is up to them, because that's how the world works. They're not going to give you every single step. I don't order my students to do exactly what they do. I want you to figure out how to do things. I want you to have freedom. And that concept blew their minds. They couldn't understand it. And they saw that as just me not being in control of my class. So I got that memo. And when I got that memo, I said, I know what this means. I said, you're not going to have me here next year, are you? And they said, oh, that all depends on you. That all depends on you. But I knew the answer already. I knew what that meant. And that was back in August 2018. Okay? So I knew way back in August that job was over. And I knew it even more at the end of the year because they used to renew my contract in December before vacations. And they didn't. It expired in February. I knew what was coming. Okay? So there's people to talk and say, oh, he got fired for drinking and for doing stupid stuff and blah, blah. No. This stuff was happening way before that's what it was. So, yeah. Particio with the double question marks there. Yeah, Franco, you kind of said it. Couldn't have opinions. That's basically what it was. Franco, yeah. Cortez Franco, thank you. And Marquez Franco. Yeah, exactly, man. I felt like I had to keep those opinions to myself, and I shouldn't encourage you to say what you think. And I don't like that. I think people should be allowed to express themselves freely, obviously respectfully. I'll openly agree that the student in this case did not do so respectfully. But that's also an opportunity to learn. If you handle that correctly, you bring, like, if I saw that, I would bring that person into my office and say, yo, like, talk to me. Why do you feel this way? Let's see how we can make this place better. But instead it was like, oh, you're just making us look bad. So, all in all, it's a long story, I know, but it's 5 years. So that's 5 years condensed. This place gave me a ton of opportunities. It introduced me to some amazing people, gave me pretty good salary, hired me when I was desperate, and let me really build a lot of skills. And I liked this job. It's higher than a C. All right. But I will say that the way it ended, the way it started changing, similar to the UTP situation, like, keeps it down a little bit. It's in here, and it's below NSYNC. It's here. For me, again, this is just my interpretation of how it felt to work there. I liked a lot of the things I did there, but, you know, it was a shame that it couldn't have kept going that way. Because if this had kept working out, it'd be up here, people. It'd be up here. I really saw this as like a great job that I could stick with for a long time. And there we go. So that's what it is. Yeah. Mad about the truth, Bautista. I mean, that's the thing sometimes. Like, people don't always like the truth. And I have a very deep, like, thing about truth. I try to be very, very, very honest. Okay? As honest as I can be. And I think that that's important in life. Like, you can't make things better if you don't look at them objectively and don't look at reality and don't see, like, what is really in front of you. And you got to acknowledge the truth in order to do that. So, like, if you deny what's real, then you're living in a fantasy. And I think that, like, I think what happens is this, and I understand this, people feel scared. People feel like if something negative is exposed and they're sort of responsible for it, that it makes them look bad. And they're worried about their image and they're worried about their job. And I understand that. I get that. But, like, the best way to handle it is just be open with people and fix things. And everyone will admire you for listening, and they will love you for making things better, and you'll live happily ever after. It's that simple. Like, open communication and honesty, people. It's the secret to happiness, okay? So when they try to take that away from you, be careful. Now, this is... I do working on because that's not true. Ooh, yeah. I'm not going to opinionate on that too much, but yeah, I can see that happening. Begwa, what's up? Oni-chan? Yeah, I don't know much about that. I'm not going to ask questions. Alonso, I see you. How's it going? Nice to see all you guys. So, okay. I'm going to take a brief detour and mention San Pedro, but we're not ranking San Pedro yet. But I want to mention it because it does enter the picture here. Little do you guys know, I bet you don't know, that I interviewed for San Pedro when I knew I was getting out of Raimondi. As a matter of fact, they approached me while I was doing Raymoon, the MUN at Raimondi. They saw how I was being treated. And someone came up to me and said, I forget who. I cannot remember who, nor would I say it right now. But the person that came to me from San Pedro said, hey man, like, I can, like, they're treating you like this, but, like, this is your thing. Like, you made this happen, right? I'm like, kind of, yeah. And he's like, listen, talk to me. If you want to get a new job, talk to me. And I was like, oh, okay. What's up, Alessia? I'll see you. It's good. Everybody go see Alessia's channel. If you ain't already seen Alessia's channel. I think that's the Alessia that has the channel. I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's multiple Alessias in the world, but if that's the one I think it is from over here, yeah. Thanks, Giancarlo. I appreciate you. My man Paroli. All right. Esteban wants to hear Altair next, and he's going to get his wish in a second. There's one little more thing here we got to cover. So anyway, I interviewed at San Pedro in 2018, okay? But I didn't get the job because I asked for a lot of money, all right? That's the thing. Now, I still got paid eventually, all right? But just a little teaser, okay? Just so you know that San Pedro was trying to recruit me 3 years ago. But before we can get there, we got to get to this little guy. This is the odd job that I felt like I had to include here because I've been doing it for a few years and it's been a nice side hustle for me. This is called steady content. These guys, basically, I write articles for this page. I've shown a couple of you guys in classes on occasion, but basically, they give me articles to write and I write them. They have 5 in the assignments for me right now. I should be doing those right now, but later, whatever. I can do them tomorrow morning or later. So these dudes are actually really, really cool. I get along really well with them. I talked to the owner. We were going to try to make some videos together even. I might be making videos for this guy soon, so that's cool. I love it because I can do it on my own time. It's just entirely like whenever I want, you know, there's no real like hours or schedule. And the money's decent. I can pull in like $30 an hour. A little more if I'm going fast and I got some coffee in me. It's pretty good paper. Pretty good paper. And I like writing. And so, yeah, that's a thing, you know. Yeah. What do you got? What about San Pedro New Teacher? I don't know about San Pedro New Teacher. I don't know who you're talking about, honestly. So I don't know. What's up, Mati? I see you. Fabricio. It's been a long time. How you doing, baby? Good to see you. Juan Manuel over here too. What's happening in the chat? Chat's popping off today. Y'all start a wave or something. I like you guys. It's nice to see y'all here. Thank you for being here. You're making my day. Vittorio, what's good? I'm trying to say hi to everybody. You know, I appreciate the support. Love you guys. I got a little appreciation video coming out Thursday for all you people. So from the heart, it's going to be real. Some real talk similar to this. All right, but anyway, I'm going to wrap up the stuff about city content because I know you don't really care. You don't really want to hear about that. All right, I know this. But I'm going to tell you straight up, I like this job a lot. This is an A-tier job for me because I enjoy writing. I get to do something I like. The instructions are super clear. I just have to do it, and they don't bother me. They're just like, okay, your work is great. Here's your money. See ya. Here's more work tomorrow. I could probably live off this if I had to. Like, if everything else... Sorry. If everything else went to crap tomorrow, I could probably just do like 5 hours a day of that and live pretty. Honestly. From anywhere. I could go do it in Japan. I've thought about it. So yeah, that's a solid job right there. That's a good one. Now, we got to get into the other schools here. So we got to get into the next one that I went to. So I did not get the job at San Pedro, but I kept looking. I kept talking to people. One of the nice things about doing MUN is that you get to know a lot of other teachers from a lot of other schools, and that came in handy because I reached out to someone that I knew from another school, and I said, hey, listen, like this happened, and I'm looking for some work. What you know? And sure enough, we come to Altair. Now, I'm going to be real with you, Altair people, okay? Listen up. I knew nothing about Altair before I went there. I'm going to say this. I think Altair is like kind of underrated. Like you fly under the radar. Like people don't talk about Altair that much. I can never remember anyone like putting it up high on their list or like, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't get it exactly. I don't understand it. I mean, it's a smaller school, I guess. Maybe that's why. But like, I liked working there a lot, people. So I want to give you the tea on this. Like, and this is so you can understand it. I just got done talking to you. La estrella que me guía. Exactly. So, okay. So here's the thing. I interviewed there. Went over really well. They liked me. They were like, yeah, come on board. Let's do this thing. So the first year, 2019, that I was there, I was mostly teaching English. I'm trying to remember now. I had 11th grade. I had like 9th grade, I think. It's funny how blurry it all gets now. And then I had like a couple other odds and ends. Like I was doing some debate and stuff like that. And I was working with the MUN team. So I gotta say, like, it was my first experience in an all IB school. Every single part of the school was IB. I did that video a little bit about like why you should do the IB. And honestly, Altair inspired that video. Okay? Because like I said it in the video, the best experience I had teaching in school was the one where I had all the IB stuff. So just hear that and you know right away that that's going to be like top tier stuff. Because here's the thing. Talking about freedom to do what I want. People, it was almost too much freedom. Almost too much. It was dangerous. Because like they gave me no material, which is fine. I like that. I want to make my own material. All they told me to do, the only thing they told me I had to do was cover a few books because they had already bought those books. And they didn't want to waste their money. And I was like, that's perfectly reasonable. I like books. And what do you got? They had good books. So it was an easy thing. It was like, awesome, easy, good books, freedom to do anything else I want. Like, it was like peak creativity for me. I felt like I could come up with anything and do anything and it would go over like awesome. And that was really empowering for me. It was like, yeah, like I felt so good doing that work because it was my work. And I also really enjoyed the way that the school treated us. Like, we were treated as more or less equals. I have never been that close to upper management. Like, I could walk into the director's office and just sit down and be like, what's up, how you doing? I did that on a couple of occasions. That's freaking cool. Okay? I like the song battles going on here. I love it. So, like, Santiago Sipan, whoa, man. Like, going back, dude, you guys are taking me back in time. What's up? It's awesome. So, yeah, good to see you, dude. I'm sorry if I've missed anybody here. Keep spamming the chat. I'll say hi to you. You know, Diego was good. And, you know, I'm not going to comment on Mati's comment there. You know, like I said, no names. So, yeah, because I'm black, right? Nice. I remember this. Beautiful stuff. You're bringing me back, guys. I appreciate that. So, anyway, yeah, Altair was doing great for me. I liked the setup. I liked the environment. I liked the people I was working with. And you know what else I liked? Like, there was a lot of young people there working there. Also, they had a psychologist for every grade. So that was cool because I could, you know, if someone was driving me crazy, I'd just be like, go talk to a psychologist. All right, just go do that. And it was nice. You had like this like emergency button that you could push at any time and just like make problems disappear. Freaking great. So I really liked a lot of the things. Now, of course, there's got to be something negative, right? And there were a couple things. So I left Altair very abruptly, very suddenly. And a lot of people were like, what's going on? This is about where, like, my work started getting complicated. Now, 2020 came around. Obviously, virtual classes are totally different. But again, I had that freedom and like they trusted me to do a good job, and I was clapping those virtual classes in 2020. I had the multiple monitor set up right away. I had the, you know, I had my sound effects and my snap. I saw an article the other day. Let me just rant for a moment. I'm angry. I saw an article the other day on today.com that was like, you know, this professor in university made himself a potato and now his students love him and he's famous. I was a potato before that, dude. I was a potato in 2020. I was a potato, a banana, a cucumber, a sofa. I had Snap Camera. I was doing it like right in the first month of virtual school. Where's my article? Where's my like international recognitions? Okay? I want my respect. That's all. Yeah, I also did that too, JD. I did that too in San Pedro. I'm gonna explain that. So, Esteban, you're asking the right question. Why did I leave? Here's the thing, okay? I was super happy to stay at Altair. I liked it a lot. And I genuinely would say it's still the best experience I've had in a school. However, here's the thing. At the end of the year, some stuff was coming out that was starting to worry me. In particular, there two things happened. One, I learned from virtual class that I could be way more productive at home, okay? Y'all don't know. Like, I went from just using my laptop at work all day like this to, like, my full setup, you know, my God tier setup, which is going to get some dope upgrades. We're going to do a tech video soon because I got a 3060 coming and a 3900X for 12 cores of awesomeness. Y'all are going to love it. We're going to be up in the quality of the video soon. Anyway, I had my setup and I was, you know, as soon as I finished work, boom, start another class. I was making bank in 2020 like never before. So I'm getting all this paper and I got all this work and it's going really well. And that's when SCORE starts too. SCORE starts in 2020. So like, I'm seeing all my profits grow. I broke records from personal income in 2020 like never before. All because I was virtual. All because I had like all this extra time. I didn't have to go to the school and come back. I didn't have to like, you know, waste time traveling or whatever to people's houses for classes. It was just like, okay, last class finishes at 3:30. Boop. Okay, 3:45. Boop. New class. Let's go. Make money. Okay, 5 o'clock. Boom. Next class. Just queuing them up one after the other. Get that paper. Now, that was awesome. And then they kind of made it sound like that was going to stop. I do have to say this. I was told by people above that in 2021, we would teach virtually, but from the school. And when I heard that, I kind of panicked because I was like, oh, dude, no. No. Because I got my setup here. Like, it basically would be like, hey, we need you to do a race. And you're like, oh, cool, I got this Ferrari right here. And like, no, actually, we need you to get in the Toyota. Okay? But I got a Ferrari. Like, there's a Ferrari right there. It's brand new. Ferrari. Yeah, Toyota. Ferrari. Toyota. And so I was a little freaked out. I'm like, I don't want to drive the Toyota. I got a Ferrari. You know? I wanted to have my single male mindset. Grind set, baby. Exactly, dude. You know? Yeah, Mauricio, you got it, bro. Like, 100%. Literally, while the rest of the world is like dying, I was profiting like crazy. It was, I'm trying to think numbers. It was like, guys, like no joke. It was about like 50% more than my best year before that. Like, it was insane. I was stacking. I bought a house. I mean, I didn't pay for the whole thing. I still got to pay the bank, but I bought a house at the end of 2020. That's how good it was. And I got a good deal on that house because everyone was selling. So, pretty sweet. So, anyway, that's the thing. I got that message that we were going to have to come back to the school to teach virtually, and I thought that makes no sense. I don't want to do that. No. And then the funniest thing happened. While I'm having these conversations, while I'm trying to figure out what's going on in 2021 in Altair, I get a phone call. And guess who? San Pedro enters the chat and is like, hey, we're looking for a teacher. And I think, hey, we've done this before. Interesting. You guys really want me here, don't you? And I'm in a situation where, like, I kind of want, you know, maybe a better situation. I don't want to lose this awesomeness. I asked about the virtual stuff. They were like, yeah, it's going to be all virtual all the time. I said, okay. We can keep the money train rolling. Chugga, chugga, choo, choo. And I thought it was a pretty good looking deal. Like, I was hype, you know? So I went back to Altair and said, listen, what about like a part-time deal? Can you get me like a deal where if I got to come back to the school, it's only like 3 days a week or something like that? Can we make that work? We couldn't make it work. Okay. Finances were tight. To be fair, I understand. They had a hard year. And Altair did a lot of good stuff for a lot of good parents to like make the cost better. Bless their hearts. But that also meant that it was hard for them to like pay me what I wanted and keep me there with those hours. So it was my fault. Honestly, I left because I rushed to judgment. I really thought that they were going to make me come into the school to teach virtually, which I probably should have been more patient about in retrospect. But I was like, you know, I was so used to getting my paper that I couldn't imagine anything else. So I got blinded by the paper. And so I ended up doing that kind of surprise announcement on New Year's Eve. Of course, because I have to be a little dramatic about it, right? I got to be a little dramatic. So I do a New Year's Eve renuncia. Like, I just sent out that big email to everybody. And that was it. I made the decision to go to San Pedro. But here's the thing. Colegio Altair, firmly in A tier. Okay? For me, A for Altair, 100%. Honestly, it could be, it's like somewhere, it would go right here. This is a great place for me to work. And I think, again, it's important to note, that doesn't mean it's a better school. It just means that it was better for me. It was the right style for me. Like, I was given the freedom to do what I wanted, which is something I value. I think there's other people that love the structure of other schools. Like, I know other teachers who would lose their mind if they had all that freedom. They'd be like, wait, where's my material? Where's my book? Like, I need my guidance. And like, I get that. That's fine too. For some people, that's it. So, you know, that's where we go. All right. Now, this is, I do think my set was pretty good. Nicolo, what's up? Yes, you know who Beowulf is. Beowulf doesn't get enough attention around these parts, but let's just say Beowulf is awesome, and y'all should recognize that. Adrian, I see you in the chat too. Man, chat's popping off. Love seeing all you guys, man. Holy crap, this is a record, I think. They took down a bunch of my streams because I was showing people SAT tests, and apparently College Board, the company that makes the SAT, goes around, watches people's YouTube videos, and then takes them down when they use their material, which irritates me because, like, hey, I mean, I'm not showing people the whole test. I'm not giving people a link to print it out. I'm literally teaching people, and they say their mission is to give people educational opportunities. But when I do it, no, kill my videos. So all those live streams are deleted, and I got a copyright strike. Woo! First copyright strike. Awesome. You know, hey, that's again, you live and learn. You make mistakes, you grow. So, but we're not gonna get. Oh, you want to ban people? No, don't ban nobody. Oh, what do you say? What do you say? What happened? I don't know. What's the Nicolo? You disrespecting people? He said something about Beowulf. I didn't see anything else. What else did he say? That's not me, bro. And then a bunch of stuff deleted. I don't know, man. Y'all want to start banning people? I don't understand. Yeah, Nicolo, just be cool, dude. Come on. I don't know what you put in or what you starting, but I missed that. Whatever that was. What? You mean Nico? So yeah. Dair. Mr. J. Yeah. Like I said, look, Nicolo, we ain't talking about people, okay? Here, just for the record, I'm not trying to talk about no people. I'm not trying to make anybody like. I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. It's not about that. You know, we ain't going there, okay? I'm not trying to talk about any of the people that I worked with or anything like that. It's envy. People hate us because they ain't us. But yeah, I'm gonna ask you to be cool, okay? So just be cool. All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all smell really good. I appreciate the fire, guys. I'm enjoying the fire here. This chat's popping off. It's a lot of fun. So, aprendo desde mi granja. Happy pig. All right, thank you. I'm glad. Oink oink, pig. Let's do it. All right, so it takes us down to these last two. We're getting down to the bottom here, people. Now, not the bottom, but the end. You know. All right, so San Pedro. I think that I need to preface something here. So, if you've been paying attention, this is the first job that ever came to me. Like all my other jobs, I had to go get them, or like I found myself in them, kind of in the last moment. And instead, like this one recruited me. They've been trying to recruit me since 2018, and I knew some of the teachers there. So I talked to those teachers. They said a lot of good things to me. I got this impression that like, okay, this place wants me. Like, that's awesome. That makes me feel good. Like, finally a school where they're like, hey, Meachums, come here, And even though I was vibing good with Altair and stuff, like, I liked that feeling of being wanted for a change. Because, honestly, some of my other jobs, I didn't feel too wanted, So, that kind of set my expectations a little higher. I was like, all right, cool, this is good. So, when we first talked, I wanted to make it clear that, I would have just like a certain amount of hours. And the thing was, score was starting to pop off. Okay, it wasn't popping off crazy, but it was starting to grow. So I also was like, look, I need some time. I was kind of trying to look for part-time work at first, but they said, look, like it's not going to be too bad. Like, I know it's 18 hours. That's a lot of hours. But I was doing 22 at Altair. So I was like, 22? That's more than 18. 18 should be manageable. If I did 22, that shouldn't be bad. You do the math in your head and you think, okay, that's not too tough. And they told me it's only 3 grades. And that makes my life easier. You guys don't know. Like, in Altair, I had to teach 5 subjects in the same year. That's tough because that's 5 different plans every week. 5 different activities that I got to brainstorm. That's hard. When I only had 3, it gets easier. So I'm looking at this like, okay, this is going to be good. I got an easier deal. It's going to be a good time, Oh, don't be like that, Pappy Pig. Don't start talking naughty things over here. Come on. You're going to go in timeout. All right? Don't be like that. I thought you were a happy pig. I wanted to be happy with you, pig. All right? So, yeah, pues. Hashtag ban happy. Hey, now, Gonzalo, don't bring like the mountains into it, okay? It's all good. It doesn't matter where they're from. They could be from the beach, could be from the mountains, could be from the jungle, could be from space, could be from the underground mole people, could be from the ocean, could be crab people. It's all good, But yeah, Happy Pig was timed out for a little bit. So, all right. Thank you for letting me know in the chat too. You guys popping off and letting me know helps me out a lot. It's hard to manage all these people. All right, thank you, Vidal. Jose, I love you, man. I'm still always gonna remember us winning the palio. 100%. Your face made my day. All right. Yeah. So okay. So San Pedro. Now I'm thirsty. I gotta get a drink. All right. I gotta refresh my beverage because I'm starting to get a little dry. Okay. I'll be right back. Be right back. Okay, we back. We good. Let's quick. Beverages. In a bad place. What are we talking about here? What happened? I lost you people. I was just that's my pause screen, you know, because I don't know. I just took a pause. I needed to get a beverage. I was thirsty, you know. So that's all. That's the idea. Okay, so yeah, San Pedro. Okay, we gotta get back to that. Let's get back to it. Now, here's the thing. So for me, I've already kind of told you guys that I value freedom a lot, and I value like good company, cool people to work with. San Pedro's got an awesome team of people. Like, y'all got great teachers there. Honestly, you do. You got really hard-working people that like bust their butts and work really hard for you guys. I honestly haven't seen a group of colleagues like that was like that into it. You know, like when we would have our meetings, it's like everybody wants to participate and talk about stuff, and like people put in a lot of extra work to make it happen, and I respect that a lot. But then the thing is, for me, like, I think that it's important to also remember that we have a life outside of the school, and I felt like mine was starting to disappear because there's a lot of extra things. Like, I kind of just thought, like, for me, 2020 was just teaching class. I taught class. I had a meeting once a week, maybe for like an hour, maybe. And so, you know, even though it was a lot of hours of class and I was taking other people's work because they quit and stuff, it wasn't like overwhelming. But then like this year it started to feel that way, and I was like, what's different this year? You know what I mean? In part, it's me. It's a new program. I got to start doing history. I never taught history before. I mean, a little bit like at Raimondi when I would explain the history of some author, but like not like this, you know? So it was a new thing for me. It was a lot of work to learn. But what's up, Franco Cortez? I said hi to you earlier. So, but hi again, baby. So, Rodrigo, what's good? So look, like, for me, there was a lot of extra stuff that was coming up. Like, there were things that we didn't talk about when I first came over, and I was a little bit like, oh, this is extra stuff. Like, normally, that wouldn't be a problem, okay? Normally, I would just be like, all right, no worries. I'll take care of it. You know, I'll help you guys out. And I like to help out. I don't mind doing extra stuff if people ask me to. It's not a big deal. I've always done extra stuff. I did MUN, and I wasn't getting paid those first couple years of MUN, and the dudes that went there with me and are in the chat, they know this. I was just doing it because I wanted to help people. So I don't mind doing extra things. But the problem is when it's like, you know, I also got this business now. And this is where the game changes, people. I got to explain this to you. Like, the game changes because suddenly it's like I got a lot more stuff to do outside of school hours, right? And yet I can't get the work I need to get done during school hours. Like, for me, it's like if my contract says from 8 to 4, hypothetically, not saying that's my actual contract, but hypothetically, if your contract says these hours to these hours, then you should be able to get all your work done in that time. That's how I feel. Because if not, then essentially I'm working for free, right? If I'm working outside of those hours, I'm working for free. Now, if I choose to, like, you know, take the rest of the day off and take a nap and then work on the weekend, that's my choice. Okay, fine. But like, if every hour from 8 to 4 is full of stuff to do, then when do I correct things? Like, when do I, you know, plan my cool classes? Like, I started to feel like I didn't have time to do my work well, you know, and that's because I hold myself to this standard, and maybe that's me, maybe that's wrong. Maybe I shouldn't like be as demanding with myself as I am, but I don't want to give you less than my best. And I think that's part of the reason I'm doing well in life is because I always give my best. I give 100%. I try to give 100% of the time. And that became more difficult. It started getting tough, you know? You think Raimondi should be F tier? So yeah, El Pato Donald. What's going on, Pato Donald? This is interesting. You know, we got new faces here. Starting to fire. Francisco, what's good? Picasso, what's up? I see you. Rolo, what's happening? So yeah. So for me, it was getting tough to do what I had to do, and because there's frequently additional things that they were asking of me, it was getting hard for me to do those things too. And you know, it's funny because when I came in, I was originally worried about two things. I was kind of like, this is going to be different. Like, it's an all-boys school. I've never worked with an all-boys school before. What's that going to be like? And I thought that might be a little weird because I'm going to say something low-key, real talk for you guys. I like you guys, but like, yo, girls are better students. Like, they work harder. Okay? Facts. But you're more fun. You're more fun. Don't get me wrong. But, like, when it comes to, like, the academic side of it, I mean, we know what's up. We know what's up. Okay? I know it's not a bad thing. I don't hate on you guys for it, but it's a fact. So, in my head, I was a little bit like, I don't know. We'll see how it is. Honestly, that was never an issue. I had no problem with that. In fact, I liked it because I was like, yeah, you know what? I can make, like, a fart joke here, and I'm not going to offend any ladies in the room because they're all done. That's kind of cool. So I was digging it. I was enjoying that stuff. I liked working with you guys. Y'all were fun. So, pero Micho, no falta de respeto. No, hang on. I'm not done though. I'm just saying, you know, I got to tell facts, right? All right. So, I got to tell it like it is. We talked at the beginning about this, about the truth, and I want to give you the truth. All right. I don't mean to. I'm overgeneralizing a little bit when I say that, but it is the truth. That, especially with regards to English, okay, and I'll tell you why. Real quick point. Women are more communicative than men. We can communicate with sounds like cavemen. You could look at your friend and go, and he'll go, and you'll know what he meant. You know that he was like, you were telling him to get you a drink while he's up, going to the kitchen, and he was like, yeah, and you can communicate that way. Women don't do that. They use words. It's crazy. And so, like, they get better at speaking English, and so they do their English work pretty well. That's part of the reason why. They're just more communicative. And so that's an advantage they have, you know? So I think that, like, and this is scientifically documented. This isn't just me talking out my butt. Like, this is actual facts. Like, this is documented stuff. Women are just faster at learning languages and therefore perform well in those tasks. So, like, I was initially worried about that, but then it wasn't an issue. It was totally fine. I enjoyed working with you guys. So I was like, okay, cool. But that work kept accumulating. And then the thing is, like, I started having difficulty, like, with some of the things I was asked to do. Like, some of the things I was asked to do, I felt like were limiting my creativity, limiting some of the things I could do. I was asked not to do some things sometimes. So, like, that's where then the freedom factor comes back into play, and I felt like I was getting limited again, and I was like, that's not what I wanted here. Like, I thought that you guys, like, saw me for me, and were gonna, like, let me be me, and certain things were, like, not permitted, you know? So there were some things that started frustrating me a little bit about that. So anyway, excellent. Messi, I mean, whatever. I was hoping that America would hire him. I wanted to see an MLS team get Messi, just to troll all of you guys, but that didn't happen. So, oh, there goes my first light. So, I'll tell you about my business in a second. All right. So, Biden or Trump? Man, what a great choice, right? Can't do it. Yeah, I know. This guy's got two names that are, like, you know, pretty gross. You know, I mean, bro, don't put your drugs there. Come on, not cool. So, anyway, for me, I think that the time constraints were the problem, and that made it very difficult for me to, like, you know, enjoy the work, because I was feeling a lot of pressure, feeling a lot of, like, stuff on top of me. And then on the top of that, it's like scores popping off. So I got these two things both asking a lot more of me than I ever expected. And so for me, look, here's the thing. I'll be honest, all right? I liked the teaching, but everything else around it was kind of too much for me. So we're around here, all right? I like you guys, okay? I'm gonna say this real. I like you guys. It's better than private teacher for sure, because I didn't have to wear, like, a uniform that made me look like a janitor. So we're definitely better than that. We're around here, okay? We're feeling it out. I think, like, if I was given the choice, I would do San Pedro before I would clean windows. I would I would do San Pedro before I do UTP again. Or would I? Or would I? That's a tough question, actually. Because UTP was so simple, so easy. Just do your job and have a good time and make your money and just go home and nothing else. So this is tough. This is tough. But the pay was so good, too. The pay was good, too. I mean, it wasn't exactly what I asked for the first time, but it was good. San Pedro paid me well, yo. Like, no joke. It wasn't a money issue. That's for sure. I think that puts it up here. Yeah. Okay. That's where we are. I think that sits right with me. That feels right. Whoops. I didn't mean to move that. Get back down there. Window cleaning job. All right. So, okay. What were you thinking, Franco? You said, yeah, Marco. What were you guys thinking? Where were you guys guessing for real? Like, what did you really think? Y'all been spamming S's into the chat, but like, what do you really think? Look, again, it's not about you people. It's about me. It's my show. Okay? So don't feel bad. Like, this says nothing about you. For the record, I'm talking strictly for those who have joined recently. I said this at the beginning, and if you've paid attention to this disclaimer on the bottom of the screen, you can see what I mean. Like, this is not an indictment of your school. This is not to say that San Pedro is a better or worse school than Raimondi, because it's just my personal experience of working there, and my experience working there will be totally different from other people's experiences working there. And like, it also is partially because of me. So it's how I am. So like, I'm just giving it to you from my perspective, right? Of how it felt for me to work in these environments. And each environment's different. And I'm sure there are people who would flip this entire thing around. I'm sure there's people who would be like, nah, man, I don't like working at Altair. I know some of those people. I saw people quit there too. So it's, you know, everything's subjective in life. What's important is that you find what you like, that you figure out what kind of work is the kind of work that you want to do, and then go get that work, because that's honestly what'll keep you happy. Is like, if you can work in a place that treats you the way you want to be treated and gives you like the circumstances that you like, then you're gonna be happy there. If you feel like you're fighting against the system, if you feel like you're kind of like frustrated by it because it's not letting you do things your way or the way you like, then it's going to be a negative experience in some ways. So I think that's important to point out. Like, y'all got to know, you know, why do I prefer female students? Like I said, it's not a preference thing. I didn't say I prefer them. I said they're better academically. I would rather hang out with all you guys in the class though. Facts. Like, but it's just it's from an academic perspective, strictly from an academic perspective, they are better. They look, you know this. You know this is true. For the most part, I'm sure some of you guys could whoop all of the Acaritas, but you know this is true. So, come on, you know? But it's not a preference. It's not that I would rather work with them. It's not like that. Herrera's kind of putting... When you put it like that, it sounds bad, you know? But no, I put it in front. This is above. It's above. But, yeah. Carry me to SSL. I could use that. So anyway, that brings us to our last thing here. And what I was saying is find something that you like and do it. And the thing is, honestly, I have found that. Like, score popped off in 2021 thanks to our wonderful new president, Pedro Castillo. Pedro Castillo has, well, I shouldn't say he has, but because of his ascension to the Peruvian presidency, many people would like to leave the country. And that's exactly what SCORE does. We help you leave the country to go study in other countries. And so that dude got past the first round, and it was just like, to the moon. To the moon! It was unbelievable, the difference from night and day. I mean, I have never seen anything like that. The business exploded. And I am extremely grateful for everybody who's here and for everything that has happened up till now, because all of these experiences here are important to me. Like, even if they're lower on the list, they gave me something important. I learned even from the F tier. I learned and I grew. And all of that has created the person that you're seeing here. And all of that has led me to the point where I can do this. And I think that's really cool. So everybody here has played a part in that. And everything that has led up to this moment is a part of that journey. And I would not go back and change that journey. Like, I wouldn't go back and do anything different. I would go to every one of these jobs again, even knowing what I know now, except for Berkeley. No, I wouldn't go back there. But facts, people, for real. So yeah, getting into this, like, score popped off, and so I didn't expect that to happen. But the thing is, it's different because it's my thing. Like, I get to do what I want to do. I get to do this. I wanted to, like, stream, for example, but I was asked not to in other jobs because they don't want us to have contact and things. Like, they don't think it's appropriate for a teacher to be on the internet broadcasting himself, you know, things like that. Like, those are things I would like to do, you know, play video games with you guys on Twitch, but like, I'm not allowed to do that as a teacher, you know. And I get why not. I understand why not. I understand, but like, it sucks. I want to do more fun things. I want to do more like, things that are engaging with people. And Score gives me that opportunity to do that. Not only do I get to do this channel and like make these videos and have fun doing this stuff, but I also get to do the work that I like to do. I get to teach classes, but I get to do it according to my rules, and I design everything and I set the terms. It's my decisions, like everything, 100%. I have full control. Maybe I'm a control freak. Maybe that's what I need. But like that makes me happy, because then at the end of the day, if I don't like it, that's my fault. I didn't do a good enough job of making it the way I want. So that has been huge for me. Like, to have that freedom to do that stuff is epic. Okay. So, for me, this is the only thing that right now belongs up here. Like, this is my S tier job. I love what I do. I get to do it by my terms. I get paid. So that's my work experience. And we'll see. Maybe in 10 years, this will look totally different. Maybe I'll have a totally different set of experiences and this would be completely different. But today, that's where it's at. So, it's been a long run, people. We've been going at it for a while. It's been fun. I've enjoyed this. This is a good time. Thank you guys for hanging out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do lives regularly for the next few weeks, as I'm in the States and I'm going to be traveling a little bit. I'm going to try to do my lives, but no promises. We will still have regular content on Thursdays. I'll figure out a way. This laptop can edit. I have done some basic testing. It can handle it. We'll figure it out. We'll make it happen. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the future, people. Because honestly, for the first time, I feel like I have, a space where I can do what I really want to do. And I can do it by my terms. And that just means that it's going to be better for me, So I've enjoyed working with all you people, and y'all have been excellent. And I just, yeah, exactly. I'm American. I like freedom. You got it. And I just, again, I want to say, like, thank you people for your support. Thank you people for being here today. Even like, thank you people for subscribing to the channel. If you haven't already, please do. It makes my heart happy. And just in general, like, I am here because of you. And so thank you. Big time. Like, this exists because of you, and that's cool. That makes me feel good. It's very satisfying to know to know that people think enough of me that they would bother to even spend time here is exciting, because I don't think that much of myself, but it's cool that you do. So, this is awesome, and I'm looking forward to this new chapter. For me, this is like a new turning point, and it's exciting to be here and tell you about it. So this is how we got here, but we got a long way to go. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the road. Anyway, my people. In sports. All right, couple questions I see. Tier list of English level. Ooh. See, if I do individual students, I mean, my lights are dying. No, I'm not going to drop names of people and make you feel bad, because somebody's going to feel bad. Your English level's not bad, dudes. It's really not. In fact, I'm trying to think about how I would compare it to Raimondi. It's hard for me to compare because, again, all dudes changes the game a little bit. But honestly, I've never felt like I had a problem communicating with you guys in terms of English. Like, I am completely myself when I teach. Like, I'm not dumbing it down. I'm not like speaking slowly or anything for you guys. Like, I'm talking to you now like the way I talk in class, I think. So you know that. And I would say it's on par with like where Raimondi was at. I think that Altair's, I don't know that I would say Altair's was even higher. I think it was about the same. I really feel like they're all about the same. I think there might be a few more individuals that stand out in that regard, but like it's not like I go to class and I'm like, oh, they're English. Like, no, man, that was never an issue. So yeah, English has never been an obstacle. I mean, I even look back at like UTP. Like, yeah, you had some people that were like rough in the basic classes and stuff, but even when I was in advanced and intermediate, like, it was just like the way I talk to you guys, So people, I think, English level is a little overrated. Like, you can learn without having the best English in the world, and I don't care if your English is perfect or not. I mean, it's nice if it is, but like, I don't expect you to be like amazing English speakers. Just do your best. That's all that matters. I'm not a perfect Spanish speaker. It took me years and years and years of living in Peru to even get remotely good. O sea, no es como que yo llegué acá y aprendí español y en un minuto ya llegué a hacer, no sé, la gran cosa y... No, o sea, Tuve que chambear años para lograr esto. So, you know, that's tough. I don't see your English level as really relevant to my work, honestly. You know, because I'll adapt. If I feel like y'all need a little more help with writing, I'm not going to grade you as strictly. I'll just, you know, adjust it down a little bit, and then we'll work on what you need. That's all that matters. Improvement. So there you go. Yeah, y'all hear that. There you go. You know, Rodrigo, you just typed it, and then, like, I did it. We were psychically linked on this one. You guys don't compare yourselves to other people, guys. Bautista, why you want to compare yourselves so much? Raimondi people were try hard. That's a fact. But no, y'all don't need to compare yourself with other people. Look, the only person you should compare yourself with is you. Compare yourself with you of yesterday. How's you doing? You know, is tomorrow you going to be a little bit better than today you? Because if so, that's good. That's all that matters. What other people do don't matter nothing. Really. Don't let the haters keep you down. And don't do this, because it doesn't help you. You know, it just makes you frustrated. If you really are better than everyone else and you're comparing yourself to everyone else, it's going to frustrate you anyway, because you're going to be like, I'm surrounded by stupid. And if you're not as smart as other people, you're not as good at something as other people, then you're just going to feel bad about yourself. And that doesn't help you get better. Like, comparing yourself to other people doesn't really help you improve. So I don't recommend it. And I don't want to do it either with you guys. Straight up. Like, so, talk about Mr. O. Yeah, MJ La Padula after all those goals. You know, gotta be the one. Yeah, Mr. O. Although, I will say that, you guys called me Mr. O at least, like, 3 times a class. And, I mean, you know, at a certain point, it's like, come on, people, you know? Like, get it right. Like, you know? But, nah. It doesn't really matter. I always think that's funny anyway. That happened to me in other jobs as well. In fact, at Raimondi, there was another teacher who they confused me with all the time. To the point where one time, they actually gave me his pay. They paid me twice because they thought I was him. And they just handed me a wad of cash in an envelope. And I was like, here you go, buddy. Here's your money. Because I'm an honest guy. I would tell them. But that's things that happen. So, yeah. I don't know, man. I got no opinions about other people. I told you guys I'm not opinionating about other people because that's not my business. Talking about other people, in my opinion, while it is sometimes fun to gossip, is it's kind of a low level. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to talk about other people. Talk about ideas. Talk about plans. Talk about what you want in life. That's way more interesting. There's a lot of other people on the planet. There's 7 billion plus people on the planet. I don't got time to talk about them. There's too many of them. And most of them, I don't even know them. So what do I care? So that's what it is, my people. Anyway, my people, that is all that we're going to have tonight. All right? I'm going to call it a night because I got some things to do. And it's been a pleasure hanging out with you guys. Hope you stick around the channel. And we got a lot of cool things going up forward. Again, thank you all for being here. You've made my evening a wonderful one. So I hope you guys have a good time. Good luck going forward. Keep in touch. And I will see you Thursday. All right, everybody? So, peace. Take it easy. Woo. Whoosh.